Check, check, one, two. Hey. Hey, yeah. Check, one, two.
Hey, Felix, can you hear me? Hi, Felix, can you hear me? Hey, Felix, can you hear me?
Yeah, we heard you. I'm here with you, loud and clear.
One, one, two. Okay. प्रेम से बोलो श्री महाविष्णु भगवान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय, सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय, सकल पंच की जय जय सीताराम. For those of us who can stand, let us all stand. If you cannot stand for some reason, you sit. All right. If you cannot stand for some reason or the other, feel free to sit and still join us in our Anteshti Sanskar, our final rite ceremony for the dearly departed. Take flowers, all of you. Let us all clasp our hands together as we close our eyes, we bow our heads in prayer. We thank God for our life and this opportunity, though it is not one of the best times to congregate or to communion or to come together. But we need you, O Lord, in this most difficult time where the son of this home have lost his life, unfortunately, in a very sad circumstance and a very, very unwelcome manner. We ask of you, O Lord, today to guide us in all that we do. May your clear universal mind dominate our thought, our speech, and our actions, and help us, O Lord, give us the strength and the courage. Today is indeed a very sad day. Today is a day that we didn't expect. Although we know death is inevitable, death is inescapable, we all have to die, but this is most unwelcome and a great shock, a loss to the members of this family. And in this time of the pandemic where everyone are keeping their distance and trying not to be about and around as much as we can, this reflects how much this individual, who was known as Andy Singh, have touched the lives of so many. I could imagine if it was a normal day and there was no pandemic, how much more people would have been here on this occasion. So we ask of the Lord today to permit, purify, and prepare us to embark on this spiritual journey where we perform the final rites. And we ask of you, O Lord, today, all that we do, may it not bring further hurt, may it not bring further harm or detriment, but what we do, may it relieve the soul of this mortal realm, and may it bring peace and happiness in the life of him and also all of us who are here taking part, witnessing through our presence here this morning. We ask of you, O Lord, today to forgive us for any wrong that we have done, knowingly or unknowingly, and shower blessings upon us all. Hari Om. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shantakaram Bhujagashainam Padmanabham Suresham Vishwadharam Gagana Sadrisham Megavaranam Subhangam Lakshmi Kantam Kamalaнаinam Yogi Vidrana Gamyam Vande Vishnum Bhavaiharanam Sarvaloke Kanatham. Om Yam Brahma Varudindra Rudra Maruta Stunvanti Devaistave Vede Sangha Prarkamopanishade Gayantyan Samagaha Dhyana Vastirgatatena Manasa Pashyantiyam Yogino Yashyam Tam Navidu Surasuragana Devaya Tasme Namaha. Om Vishnur 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 Adya Shri Brahmano Hi Dvitya Pranade Shri Shvetavara Kalpe वेवस्वत वन्वन्तरे अष्टाविंशतितमे कलियुगे कलिप्रतिनं त्रिनिदादेशे अमुक ग्रामी फ्लमिंगो ट्रेस आर्यावर्तान गतर ब्रह्म खंडेशे पुण्यक्षेत्र भूरवतारे थानाम संवत्सरे अमुकायन अमुक मास अमुक पक्षे अमुक तिथो अमुक भास अमुक नक्षत्र अमुक योग्य अमुक कर्ण अमुक राशि सिद्धे सूर्य अमुक राशि सिद्धे से सांख्य से ग्रहेषु यथा यथा राशि सांसिसेषु अमुक नाम यजमानस. You four boys, take your names in your mind. अमुक नाम यजमानस अमुक गोत्रस्य, take the name of the deceased. अमुक प्रेतस्य अंत्येष्टिकरम अहं करिष्ये. प्रेम से बोलो श्री महाविष्णु भगवान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय, आर्य माँ भगवान की जय. Of 5 flowers there. The rest of you who stood can take your seat now and make yourself comfortable. My dear friends, the funeral ceremony is not a lengthy one in terms of rituals and what we have to do here. And because of the pandemic, it is also confined, restricted, and shortened. But today we will do that which is necessary for the soul, but most importantly, memorable for the members of this family as they get their final chance to say farewell to this soul who was once in the personality and form of who was Andy Singh. Whilst we know that we all have to undergo, sometimes we don't prepare for it, we don't want to think about it, we don't, want it, but it happens. And it happens when we least expect it, even to the best, even to the wealthiest, even to the greatest. Who born must die. And we remind ourselves of this every time we hear somebody die or we attend a funeral ceremony. But to handle it is very, very difficult. To accept it is very, very difficult. Nobody wants their loved one, especially in these times where we see people are dying of all ways and forms. People are just going like that. Now, there are more condolences than I love you. There are more death than perhaps life and living upon the face of the earth. And this is the reality, but we have to remain strong. We have, especially when we are left behind, to do for others. On this occasion, what makes it even more depressing and more sad, more disheartening, is that parents have to cremate their children. Parents have to say the goodbye, when we were taught it's supposed to be the other way around. But this goes to show, my dear friends, that death have no age. But this is not a circumstance and situation where somebody was sick, somebody was deformed, somebody was defective, somebody contracted even the COVID, if we want to include in this time that we expect something tragic like this to happen. So what can we say, what can we do in these times to save and accept that we must turn to God? No one cannot endure separation. When we get close to a pet, an animal, whether it be a dog, whether it be a parrot, whether it be a kitten, whatever it is, some people who fear a snake, for others, a snake is their pet. I see just yesterday on social media, a guy went to India and he have a snake, a cobra for a pet. So no matter who you or what you get close to, it is difficult to separate. Some people pride possession is a car, a home. Look at things that we get attached to or we get close to, that we protect it and we take care of it like our life, because we work hard to achieve these things. Just imagine an individual, a living entity with a soul that comes even from mother and father. It is said, father's blood, mother tissues come together, create a child. This mother is undergoing pain. This is no way to die. This is no way to live. Yes, to die, we all have to die. Garud Puran makes it very clear that we born, we must die. Ana jana niti jagataka फिर गए सा घबराना, 2 दिन का तेरा रैन बसेरा, हंस अकेला जाना सबको, जाना यहाँ से वैरी अतरिया छोड़ के. Coming and going is the niti jagataka, is the law of the universe. But Garupran goes to say a little bit more further, how we must die. Not only how we must born and circumstances and situation surrounding our birth, but yes, there is a way to leave this world. Praying to God, doing good things, healthy. This is why when we get sick, we try to go by the doctor and sort it out quickly, because we don't want to die in any type of hellish conditions. I could imagine what this soul undergo in his final moments. But there is a God, and there is justice with God, and God shall prevail. We maybe have our karma to face, and this is maybe how we have to go, and this is maybe how we have to live, and this is maybe what we have to have, and where we reach in life. No doubt about it, karma. But there is also karma for those who inflict suffering and pain, distress and difficulties on others. I don't think this individual even have a girlfriend or wife. Didn't get to live and enjoy life perhaps as where we are in our age and our stage of life. So very, very disheartening. So what we can do, remind ourselves. The ritual, like I say, is very simple, but there are bhajans that we can sing. Bhajans give us meaning. It gives us enhancement, significance to what we do. So if we don't know in the ritual, the bhajan will explain and reiterate what the bhajan says. Before we continue with our simple rituals, it is just about 5 or 6 steps. Let us join in a beautiful bhajan. मैं तो प्रभु की शरणिया जाता हूँ दुनिया छोड़ के. The soul is waving today, seeing so many good people around to say goodbye. The soul is returning to the shelter of his Lord. Unlike perhaps you and I, we here and we have to face the challenges of good and bad, right and wrong, and the experiences of heaven and hell here. But the soul is leaving, the soul is transmigrating, all because of what taking place here today. Let me tell you something, not everybody does get a send-off like this, Look how many COVID families would not be able to see their departed. In some countries, they dig a hole with a backhoe, not even a human, and they had to put you inside it. And that is the end of you. Some place they cremate you without any final rites, final goodbye. So at least we have this opportunity today, and this is, although the circumstances is not one which we want to leave this world or we want our own to leave this world, at least we have a proper send-off. So the soul is saying, मैं तो प्रभु की शरणिया जाता हूँ दुनिया छोड़ के. मैं तो प्रभु की शरणिया जाता हूँ दुनिया छोड़ के. 4 जना मिली मुझे मिलाया, करने लगी तैयारी. कोई हाथ कोई पैर पकड़ कर रख दे मुझे सवारी. चले 4 पहरवा मुखवा से राम नाम बोल के. चले 4 पहरवा मुखवा से राम नाम बोल के. पेट पकड़ कर मैया रोए, बाह पकड़ कर भैया. पेट पकड़ कर मैया रोए, बाह पकड़ कर भैया. लपक झपक कर तिरिया रोए, कहाँ चले मोरे सैया. पिया मत जा अकेला, लाल चदरिया ओढ़ के. पिया मत जा अकेला, लाल चदरिया ओढ़ के. आना जाना नीति जगत का, फिर गए सा घबराना. आना जाना नीति जगत का, फिर गए सा घबराना. 2 दिन का तेरा रहना बसेरा, हंस अकेला जाना सबको. जाना यहाँ से वैरी अतरिया छोड़ के. सबको जाना यहाँ से वैरी अतरिया छोड़ के. मैं तो प्रभु की शरणिया जाता हूँ दुनिया छोड़ के, मैं तो प्रभु की शरणिया जाता हूँ दुनिया छोड़ के. It is said, when this time comes, what is left? चार जना मिली मुझे मिलाया करने लगी तैयारी. 4 of them will carry the body. कोई हाथ, 2 will hold the hands. कोई पैर पकड़ कर रख दिए मुझे सवारी. 2 will hold the feet and they will put them in the savari, the transport, to take to be cremated. पेट पकड़ कर मैया रोए. Mother will hold her belly and cry. And this is exemplified here today. This bhajan have been written so long, but we see it manifesting when these times come. Very unfortunately, very sadly, that mother expressed herself. Why mother hold the belly? Because for 9 months, she take care of that child there. So nowhere else hurt. The belly hurts. As a matter of fact, when I was speaking to her prior to this, she said, Baba, my belly started hot and I get a feeling to call my son, not knowing this is the time something was taking place. Mothers who have connection with their children, unflinching love, nurture and take care of the children, grow them up, and even how old or how accomplished or how fulfilled they may be in their life, mother always will remain mother. And because of that love, she can know exactly. The child will have to be around. And there are so many mothers here can attest to this, that they will get a feeling, belly will begin to boil, as they would say, that something is wrong, I must call my child. Or sometimes they know when something good is going to take place in the lives of their children. And when they call, lo and behold, they found out whether it is bad or it is good. They get that indication. So mother will hold, Pete pakar kar maiya roye, baah pakar kar bhaiya. Brother will hold his shoulder, because they play together, they fought together, they embrace each other from time to time. So they will beat their shoulder and they will cry. Baah pakar kar bhaiya. And if there is wife, lapak jhapak kar tiriya roye, kaha chale mudhe saiya. She will run and she will bawl and she will cry and say, where are you going, my beloved? But the soul is still saying, while all this is going on, indicating that there was some goodness of the soul in his life, that people come to signal not only farewell, but still a prayer, good sentiments, love. Not everybody die. People want to go to their funeral, you know. As a matter of fact, one of my good friends, the late Pandit Chaitra Maharaj, his funeral is in progress right now, and I cannot be there because I have given my word to the members of this family, my good friend who we fondly call Blues, and his Dharam Patni. So I say, I must be here on this occasion. So not everybody wants to go to somebody's funeral. Not everybody can reach. And there's some people who go to a funeral to make sure the person die, Yeah, to see if they're really dead, because they can't believe it. Such menace there was to the family, lineage, society and all. But this is not the case here today. I expected to see few people because everybody is taking their precaution of distance and protocols. And I'm so happy that everybody have their masks and so on here today. But we have to do what we have to do. And what we need to do is not worshiping the dead. In a Hindu funeral ceremony, we don't worship the dead. And we also believe that dead horse wouldn't come here to eat grass. We worship the Lord. Because this body was given to us as his image and likeness. Ishwara Ansa Jiva Avinashi. God have given us his image and likeness. And it is our responsibility and duty to do good with it. It is our responsibility and duty to live up to the expectation of his image and likeness. So this body is likened unto the image and likeness of God. It is the temple of God. Therefore, we not only take care of it when we are alive, and we take care of each other. It is not for us to judge anyone, and it is not for us, my dear friends, to destroy the life or cause any harm or grief or pain. Sometimes it happens. And let's hope it is not to the point where somebody have to die on our account. That is not nice. That is not good. So what we say, sorry, we apologize, and we ask God for forgiveness. But when you inflict pain and danger and death on someone, you know what karma is that? We don't have that right. No wrong could ever put us in a position which someone have done for us to take the life of another individual. No wrong. Because we pray for forgiveness from God, every one of us. Therefore, if someone even does wrong, I don't know what wrong or right he have done to deserve this at least this type of death, but it is not our duty. No wrong is enough for us to endanger, harm, or cause the demise or destruction of another person. Because we are God's creation. We have to live up to the expectation of Him. And when we do good, good shall follow us. When we do bad, bad shall also follow us. And you don't have to die to go to some place then to begin suffering, you know. I believe there is a place called heaven and there is a place called hell. But more to that, I also believe heaven and hell begins right here. All the religions of the world speak about heaven and above, hell and below. And when we do our good, good will come. We may do bad as well, because who is perfect? None of us in this world are perfect. That is why we're supposed to keep our relationship with God always, so we can be protected and safeguarded and corrected from the wrongs that we have performed as human beings. The only perfect and complete one is तुम पूरन परमात्मा तुम अंतर्यामी पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर तुम सबके स्वामी Om Jai Jagadish Hare. The only perfect and one complete one is God. So no matter how much we try, long as we are here and we have human form, we will make mistakes. But we depend on the good to cancel off the bad. We depend on becoming better to overcome the bad and the bad experiences and the consequences to continue and enjoy life. Because you know why? We don't know when our turn will come. Today is this child of this home, this brother, this son. Tomorrow could very well be you and I. The question is, how and when? We don't know. And nobody in this world can tell you that, you know. Doctor gave relative of mine a couple of weeks to live, and the man still living today. And people who we expect to live at least longer than us, a full, complete life, look like my good brother and friend, the late Pandit Chaitram Maharaj. He was a famous Mahapat. Everyone knew him. He died at the hands of a wasp, a jet. He died at the hands of that. So we don't know how and when, but we know there is a God. We know there is a God who can look over us, a God who can make impossible possible, who could rewrite wrong to being correct, and who have the only authority to forgive and help us, especially up and above our imperfections, our deficiencies, our sins, and the consequences of it, and more so when death and dying comes. So the most I can do, I can chant mantras from here to Tobago, in any language, Sanskrit, Hindi, Chinese, whatever, Spanish, now we have to include. But would that bring back the soul? This will not be able to bring back the soul. Once you leave, you cannot come. So that's why we not only take care of ourselves, but we try to take care of each other. While there is karma to take its course, God is above all that. So today we place our lives, the lives of our family, friends, and those who gathered here, in the hands of the Lord. And more so, we place the soul in the hands of Bhagwan. So at this point in time, we begin our funeral ceremony. Hari Om. Adhyamukha gotrasya mukha pretasya mritisthanesha vanamita snanam mayadiyate tavopatishtatam. 3 times. Okay, rest it right there somewhere. You could put one here, but on these pictures, this got to go with me, when we're going down there, right? On this picture only, you'll put Chandan. Om Adhyamukha gotrasya mukha pretasya mritistane shavanamita chandanam mayadiyate tavopatishtatam. That's it right there. Essence. Spray there on that picture. Om Adhyamukha gotrasya mukha pretasya mritistane shavanamita Gandam mayadiyate tavopatishtatam. How many mala? What is mala? The mala. Okay, this one. Take it out. Hey, sit down. Okay. Thank you. Why didn't I hear one? Yeah. Hang on a minute. Now you have to break it, right? So what you will do, you will just put it from the picture here. Come on. Burst it one time. The next thing is the arati, right? Om Adhyamukha gotrasya mukha pretasya mitisthana shavanamita pushpamala mayadiyate tavopatishtatam. At this point in time, put extra water so you don't get hot. Let us all stand again for those of us who can stand as we take part in our first and main arati. You're doing arati like this, but you're coming along while you're doing the arati. 5 times. Check it properly, right? Okay. So here we give all praises and thanks, worship to the divine forms of the Lord, which in some of his incarnation is the elements which comprise the human body as it comprises everything else in this world. We thank God for who was once Andy Singh, in whatever relationship we entertain with him, as son, as brother, as friend, as relative, neighbor, well-wisher, whatever the case may be. We ask of you, Lord, to prepare this body for proper disposal. Since it is your image and likeness, we must give consideration and respect not only when he is alive, but more so when he is not here to do for himself, as he have the brothers, family members, and so much of us to conclude the journey of his life upon the face of the earth with this funeral ceremony. So, O Lord, receive this offering and may you purify and bless the soul. Go ahead. Om Yam Dware Mahagore Andenatama Savrate Tatvalokanataya Deepo Yamopatishtaram. Om Adhyamukha Gotrasya Mukha Pretasya Mritasthane Shavanamita Deepam Mayadiyate Tavopatishtaram. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. 5 times? Hare Krishna, just you alone. Hare Krishna, bow down and join the line. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Prem se bolo Shri Mahavishnu Bhagwan ki jai. Just Chandan essence. The rest of you can take your seat. Thank you very much for standing. while the rest of the son, well, their brothers or friends, relatives, as the case may be, perform the ceremony. Arti. That's all. Right? If there's anyone at this point who would like to say something, friend, relative, well-wisher, or sing a bhajan, now is the time to do so while we engage the rest of the shrotas to perform the ceremony.
And in this bhajan, it says, "Oh Lord, why it is that when some is crying, some is laughing, some is sick and some is poor, some is rich and some is poor, some is sick and some is in good health, and some is here and some is leaving to go. Oh Bhagwan, no one can understand this business of yours." Oh, koi rove, koi gaye, kaisa tera sansar, O Malik. Koi rove, koi gaye, कैसा तेरा संसार, ओ मालिक कैसा तेरा संसार. कोई समझ नहीं पाए तेरा कारोबार, ओ मालिक कैसा तेरा संसार. उझर जाए जब रैन बसेरा, पंछी सिर धुन रोई. कोई न जाने दर्द किसी का, सब मतलब में कोई. अंबर नीर बहाए, धरती करी ये पुकारो, मालिक कैसा तेरा संसार. हो कोई रोवे कोई गाए, कैसा तेरा संसार, ओ मालिक कैसा तेरा संसार. दिन के सब तूने रात बनाए, फूल की संखाते. जाने कहा किसी जग बैठे कर, तू ये सुख दुख बातें. पतझर जहां मुस्काए, रोए वही बहार, ओ मालिक कैसा तेरा संसार. कोई रोवे कोई गाए, कैसा तेरा संसार, ओ मालिक कैसा तेरा संसार. जय कृष्ण हरे, श्री कृष्ण हरे, दुखियों को दुख दूर करो. जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय कृष्ण हरे, श्री कृष्ण हरे। दुखियों को दुख दूर करो, जय 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 कृष्ण हरे। जब चारों तरफ अंधियारा हो, आशा का दूर किनारा हो। जब चारों तरफ अंधियारा हो, आशा का दूर किनारा हो। और कोयन के वन वाला हो, और कोयन के वन वाला हो, फिर तू ही बेड़ा पार करो, जय 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 कृष्ण हरे। जय कृष्ण हरे, श्री कृष्ण हरे। दुखियों को दुख दूर करो, जय 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 कृष्ण हरे। तू चारी तो सब कुछ कर रे, विष को भी अमृत कर रे। तू चारी तो सब कुछ कर रे, विष को भी अमृत कर रे। पूरन कर रे सबकी आशा, पूरन कर रे सबकी आशा। जो भी तेरा ध्यान करे, फिर तू ही बेड़ा पार करो, जय 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 कृष्ण हरे। जय कृष्ण हरे, श्री कृष्ण हरे। दुखियों को दुख दूर करो, जय 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 कृष्ण हरे। आए भी अकेला, जाए भी अकेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला। आए भी अकेला, जाए भी अकेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला। जीने के लिए है तूने महल सजाई, मतलब के यार सारी सभी के फरा हो। जीने के लिए है तूने महल सजाई, मतलब के यार सारी सभी के फराई। इन्हीं के लिए है कितने तूने दुख झेला है, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला। आए भी अकेला, जाए भी अकेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला। कहाँ तू आया जग में, क्या तुझको करना, नेकी कर्म कर ले, दुनिया से धर हो। कहाँ तू आया जग में, क्या तुझको करना, नेकी कर्म कर ले, दुनिया से धरना। पाप की अधम के खुद को मैं हूँ अकेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला। आए भी अकेला, जाए भी अकेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला। ये जिंदगी है प्यारी एक झूठ सपना, गैरों की दुनिया में नहीं कोई अपना। ये जिंदगी है प्यारी एक झूठ सपना, गैरों की दुनिया में नहीं कोई अपना। सभी रहती हुई मैं हूँ अकेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला। आए भी अकेला, जाए भी अकेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, दो दिन का मेला यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानमाधर्मस्य तदात्मानं सजान्यहम् परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतां धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे नैनं छिन्दन्ति शस्त्राणि नैनं दहति पावकः न चैनं क्लेर्यन्त्यापो न शोषयति मारुतः सुख दुखे समय कृत्वा लाभ